Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Hipsters Chronicles. This is your host, Jamil Hassan, the Crypto Hipster, where from the period of time of March 2021 through June 2022, I interviewed 182 founders, executives, entrepreneurs, artists, and authors from over 50 different countries and built a global audience in 165 countries while posting and producing my podcast at the Irish Tech News platform. Since then, I realized there's a lot of incredible content in the interviews that I had, and my interviews with Thought Leadership podcast interviews that had amazing gems from all the guests that I was able to interview. And so I've chosen and decided to create the Crypto Hipsters Chronicles series, which is a series of the gems, the little tiny pieces from each of the interviews that I had in the areas of Bitcoin, Ethereum, metaverses, NFTs, regulatory issues in crypto globally, art, and you name it across the wide spectrum of different verticals in blockchain and crypto industry, and in fintech and mobility and sustainability as well. These are about 15 minutes long, each chronicle, and has three, four, or five different segments from different interviews. So I hope you enjoy them. I hope you have learned a lot. And if you'd like to um, listen to the full podcasts, they are available online at both the Irish Tech News and on Anchor. And in a future date will be available on the Crypto Hipsters station as well. So please enjoy and talk to you soon. Hello and welcome to the Crypto Hipsters Chronicles, episode 39 Malware, Gemware, and Underwear, measuring blockchain's beneficial impact on disparate industries. This podcast episode is a compilation of three interviews. First person is Justin Chu, who is the head of compliance and money laundering of Capital in Singapore. Second is Chirag Chaitani, who is the founder and COO of Diamante Blockchain. And third is the founder and mother of Najarena. Her name is Lindsay Mallon. Enjoy. Sounds great. I want your job. I'm not qualified though. So I have a question today. About 8 hours ago, the U.S. Department of Justice arrested Ilya Lichtenstein and his wife Heather Morgan. Those names are going to be famous. They conspired to launder crypto connected to the 2016 Bitfinex hack. There was about 120,000 Bitcoin stolen then. At the time, it was 72 million. Today, it's 5.1 billion. They were arrested. And the way they did it, and I want to find out how this all works, right, was they used a variety of methods. And I don't understand any of this, but I'm going to ask you. They used a variety of methods, including chain hopping, depositing coins at exchange and darknet markets, and then automating transactions using computer programs. How? What are those three things in the area of anti-money laundering, and why is it? Why do we got to take a closer look at that?
Well, the reality is that cryptocurrencies provide a very attractive means for criminals to launder criminal proceeds for a few reasons. Mainly because the reality is that even today, quite a large number of cryptocurrency exchanges haven't been licensed or registered and have robust anti-money laundering and counter financing of terrorism risk and control measures in place. So that makes cryptocurrency exchanges in general something that would probably be more attractive than traditional financial institutions for criminals to launder their proceeds of crime itself. Yeah, and secondly, the other reason why cryptocurrency exchanges are attractive would be in terms of their ability to move large amounts of funds quickly at low cost across borders itself. Yeah. So that these two reasons are the key reasons why the crypto currency industry has been at risk for many years when it comes to money laundering risk itself. Yeah. And the reality is that in order for the BitMEX hackers to be able to move these large amount of cryptocurrencies to launder these proceeds across various crypto currency exchanges, they would definitely have made use of quite a number of methods, which you have correctly pointed out. So one of the key methods would be through the use of computer programs in order to obfuscate the source of funds itself. So typically, they would use computer programs known as mixers, which basically allow funds and a particular transaction to be broken down into multiple smaller transactions mixed with other people's transactions, and these transactions are actually anonymized before they are being sent to respective exchanges itself. So that's probably one of the key methods that people use to launder crypto proceeds itself. I would say that the other method, commonly used method of laundering crypto proceeds would be through the use of cold wallets on and off the entire transfer process. And the reason is that, I mean, for cold wallets itself, they can be purchased very easily online or even through e-marketplaces like Amazon for as little as maybe about 99 US dollars. And with that, criminals will be able to break the audit trail from time to time, okay, and move their crypto proceeds from one exchange to the other while cutting off the audit trail itself. And the truth is that, you know, in order for a person to get a cryptocurrency cold wallet itself, that person does not most likely wouldn't have to identify and verify himself before he or she purchases the cold wallet. So that would in a way also create an additional layer of secrecy in the entire fund flow process. But of course, I would say that for cryptocurrency money laundering itself, there are also very advanced methods to detect these transactions, because ultimately cryptocurrency transactions all take place on the blockchain itself. So this is basically something that everybody can see. And for law enforcement agencies like the US Department of Justice, all they will need to do is to put in place a cryptocurrency transaction monitoring system, which would be able to peel through the layers on the blockchain and would allow investigators to follow the trail of the money ultimately to the perpetrators. Of course, this isn't something that is easy, and it would generally take quite a long time for investigators to be able to follow the money trail before they reach the perpetrators, because ultimately a lot of cryptocurrency money laundering activities, they are fairly complex in nature, which would lead to quite a substantial amount of effort that law enforcement will have to put in order to follow the money trail itself. Yeah. So for capital wise, we actually manage this risk quite well by putting in place a cryptocurrency transaction monitoring system, which we use in order to monitor all our customers' transactions. So over at Capital, we make use of Chainalysis, which has a very concrete and complete database itself in order for us to ensure that our products and services are not misused for criminal activities.
So, it's been, when did I propose? Proposed to my wife in 2007, right? I bought her a Diamond District. I got on one knee. I asked her to marry me. She said yes. We've been married since 2008. If I wanted to buy a diamond, ring or diamond on using your platform, would I be able to do that? And if so, how?
Yes, certainly. We have planned a trading platform for diamonds where diamonds can be bought and sold. Not so much on the retail side that we might come, but it is for businesses to businesses. It's a B2B platform that we would be soon initiating and bringing within the diamond ecosystem. So there are two aspects to the diamond trade, on the retail side of it and on the business side of it. People have been more cautious about what they want to buy and what is the source and the origin of it. So I'm integrating a complete supply chain from the mines to the market. So that is the first stage that we would be working on, where the goods coming from the mine would be traced until it hits the manufacturer's platform or the factory where it has been manufactured, and then ultimately when it is going onto the hands of traders, it would be traced on the blockchain as well. So there is a certain immutability of the data that would be flowing through the blockchain network, and ultimately when it goes into the jeweler's hand, they would know exactly that the diamond they have bought from the trader or even from the manufacturer, it would have a certain traceability aspect to it. And what they can promise their buyers, customers, is that this is a real diamond that has been traced onto the blockchain. It has a real value. And all the value of the diamonds, also through the certification process, it would be mapped and traced onto the diamond internet ecosystem. So that's what we would be, we have planned on the first stage, where we would be giving an additional value for the diamonds. And that would be a big marketing drive for the manufacturing and the mining companies as well, because there have been lot of talks about the blood diamonds, and we have even seen the movies. And that's what it looks like to a normal retail customer. So bringing the transparency would create an additional amount of trust, where the retailers could do a big marketing drive or a campaign where they promise that the diamonds that they are selling, they're authentic and it has a complete track on the blockchain. So that is the first phase that we have planned. And as we move forward, we will also be planning to bring the jewelers onto a single ecosystem where they can showcase their traced diamonds and the jewelry, and they can sell it to potential customers around the globe.
Great. You said two words there: authenticity and trust. And I'm looking at, your supply chain, and that's important to have authenticity and trust. What challenges and lessons have you learned that could be applied to other supply chains on blockchain that you could probably, share your wisdom about?
Sure. So we have learned a lot out of our past 3.5 years within our journey with Diamond Day. So people have been talking a lot about supply chains and implementing supply chains and utilizing blockchain. There have been a lot of initiatives in different industries. When I talk about diamond industry, that has been an initiative called Tracer. They promise to trace the diamonds and their diamonds throughout the journey, and they're doing a good job. And there are a lot of other initiatives within within the automobile space, within the pharma space, and there are a lot of use cases that people want to implement. But when we talk about real implementation or real life implementation, it's about creating a value for the actual businesses. Like if I am running a business, I don't want my overheads to be higher. Implementing a new technology, I want my overheads to go down. I want my business to grow with the new technology and not become a burden to me. So implementation has always been a challenge, and there are a lot of ways you can overcome that challenge. Like a lot of companies have been successfully doing that, but there are not a lot of initiatives who have created a real life solution to it, and that's what we aim to bring to the market. Like whenever you are working with a global trade of diamonds, it is the most securitized trade. When you look at it, there are a lot of certifications like Kimberley process certifications where you maintain the genuinity of the goods. It is not blood diamonds. So it is a very complex space. And if we overcome that complex situations, then it can be easily applied to various different industries. We already had few of our consortium members coming in from the pharma industry that they were a part of our proof of concept transaction with the pay circle ecosystem. There were a few companies from the textile. So people are looking for the solution, but there is an actual need of a platform that allows you to do it. And particularly now the challenges that we face, like if we are particularly speaking about diamonds or gems in jewelry, when you are transferring or transporting from one geography to other geography, or even transferring payments from one geography to other geography, there is always that banking compliance department that stops it, or either there is a custom department that stops the transfer of the goods. So it has to be authenticated a lot in terms of payments and the transfer. And that's what blockchain can bring a lot of value to it within the supply chains. It can minimize the risk for the authenticity. And that's when the custom department would feel comfortable. That's when the banks would feel comfortable to manage the payments. So it is still in a very early stage, but there is a very bright future for implementation of blockchain within the supply chain space, and we would definitely like to be one of the leaders leading that by creating an example within the complex industry.
So I want to talk about consumers for a minute, because a couple weeks ago I interviewed Tim Draper, VC, and he said that the way to achieve mass adoption of Bitcoin is through women shoppers. And from what you've seen, because you're probably the closest person I've talked to who could be closest to that. What are your opinions on that?
I would say yes. I mean, the female is the bigger shopper in the household typically.
True.
I think we can say that's inarguably the truth, which is funny because it is such a male-dominant community, but I think that's starting to change. But on the other side, and more realistically, gosh, I just lost my trail of thought. Crypto also has multimillionaires. It's a very wealthy community. People have grown their wealth. They've made their wealth there. But where do they shop with that wealth right now? I mean, I've seen a few websites for like luxury yachts. I know Tesla is now accepting Bitcoin. There's small companies that are not small. Tesla's not small, but private companies that are popping up that are offering that option. But if you are a multimillionaire, where can you shop at your lifestyle price point right now? Nowhere. You can't go to right, exactly. Like a couple, you can get a yacht and a Tesla and like a couple other things. I think there's like a watch website, but that's it. You can't go to a mall. You can't go to Net-a-Porter. You can't go to any of these multi-brand platforms and shop with crypto, which is the money that you've made. You have to go trade it into fiat, into cash, whatever, and shop with it that way. So that's I think that's also a very critical thing. And that's Split is doing, and we're doing it in the background. So you can either shop with crypto if you know what it is and you're comfortable with it, or you can shop with whatever standard measures of money that you would normally, credit, whatever. And then it kind of works in the background, and we have shopper rewards that you get back that are ShopX tokens and all of these things to kind of build that bridge and build that comfort over. But I think that if you look at it that way, going back to your females, who is shopping, especially in the luxury industry? I think I don't know the exact statistic, but just a quick visually seeing how many runway shows happen, it's probably 80% of the industry is all females. So that's definitely driving your economy. Our shoe obsession is it's driving the market.
I know another thing that Simon's cared about is children, right? And I'm not into. I haven't bought
new clothes for a while for myself, but my kids get new clothes all the time. So how do you think the children should be, set up to learn about the future through technology? If that is an opportunity there as well?
That is a good question. And I think that's kind of, I'm sure you can agree. I have a 6-year-old. I think that's always the kind of like the battle is these kids spend like 5 minutes on an iPhone and they know how to do more than I do. I know my 6-year-old's literally taught me how to do stuff on my phone. So I guess it kind of comes down to that battle between the tech is the future and enabling them to know how to use it is important. But, where do you draw that line? Because then they also get addicted to it and all these other things. I don't know if I know the answer to that. I know in our household, it's, obviously becoming a little bit more of a common term because our company runs off of crypto. So by default, Mila, my 6-year-old, she hears conversations about it. I don't really know if I know the answer though. I think it's just kind of that slow adoption into it, and most likely they'll catch on to it faster than us. They're not, I don't know. What do you think? I'd be curious to hear.
I have an 11-year-old and I have a 7 and I have an 8-year-old, and they are so quick with the technology. You show them something, they know how to do it. And I try to turn on screen stop for the day, and they can bypass it. And I don't know how you do that.
I think it's a password thing. Like Mila figured out how to do that during COVID too, and I was like,
They're growing up. They're growing up smart.
Like using binoculars over, like how are you seeing me use the passcode?
Exactly.
But yeah, I think in that vein, probably they'll just adopt into it and it'll be a lot more seamless. For us, we're so used to certain ways and certain structures and doing things certain ways that our minds are a little bit more rigid to old systems. Our brains are very much pre-wired to like patterns and consistency. Actually, fun fact, I think it's the middle of the night dreaming. Your brain is taking your entire history and it's using that to try and create patterns to predict your future, because that's how much our brains like patterns. So with age, of course, that gets harder set, but these kids, they're so malleable. If you hand them $100 digitally or $100 in cash, I don't know if they would care.